Welcome to the Book of Enoch, where we're going through the Book of Enoch, verse by verse, because the Book of Enoch is by far the best example of what it'll be like in the days of Noah, because Enoch was there and he saw things and he wrote it down, and it's not just what he saw in the physical world, but in the spiritual world as well. Jesus references Enoch. Jude literally quotes him and says, according to the prophecy of Enoch, and then quotes the Book of Enoch. It's important that we read it, and I think people are oftentimes, just because if you read it and you study it, it's, blasphemy. Because, again, I've said as many times, I'm not saying it belongs in the Bible. I'm not saying it doesn't. What I am saying is that it's important to understand if you really want to know what it'll be like in the days of Noah. And to be quite honest, there are some Jewish canons that do have it in their scripture, including the Ethiopian Jews. So it's not real far-fetched to include it. But again, I'm not saying it belongs, not saying it doesn't. What I am saying is I think it's important to read and understand. And as we've gone through it, we've got to this place where 7 angels have taken Enoch, and they're taking him really to what he saw was kind of like the workshop of creation of God. And then he finally sees these 7 mountains, which represent the 7 heads of the dragon, the 7 wicked principalities of this earth. The wicked demons, because remember in Revelation, the dragon had 7 heads and a tail of a third of the stars. So you have 7 kings of this earth, principalities, demons, Satan being one of them. And then you have a third of the angels all on this earth. And he sees these mountains, but there's something peculiar that he sees as he's looking at these, and we're going to pick it up there. And I saw a flaming fire, and beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the great earth. There the heavens were completed. I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire, and among them I saw columns of fire fall, which are beyond measure, like towards the height, towards the depth. And beyond that abyss I saw a place which had no firmament of the heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There was no water upon it, no birds, but it was a waste and a horrible place. I saw there 7 stars like great burning mountains. And to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, this place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the hosts of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandments of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed time. And he was wroth with them and bound them till the time when their guilt should be consumed even for 10,000 years. So here, what we're looking at is we saw the mountains, and these are wicked mountains. These are the mountains that represent the kings, the kings of the earth, not literal kings, the principalities. Just like when Daniel was praying and the angel came and said, I was fighting with the prince of Persia, and now I continue to fight with the kings of Persia. He's not fighting with literal kings. He's fighting with principalities, because it was Michael, the archangel, that came and helped him fight that king. So there's 7 kings. It's the same thing in Revelation. There's going to be, the beast had 7 heads and 10 horns. The 10 horns represent 10 worldly kings. The 7 heads represent these 7 principalities of darkness. And as he sees them, beyond that is this place where there's no more firmament. We talked about the firmament in another day. There's no birds, there's no peaceful, there's no quiet, there's no nature. It's just dark, death, burnt, fire, columns of fire, that sort of thing. And what this is the end of heaven and earth. This is that place at the end of Revelation when he takes Satan and all the demons, and he's seen that this is their holding cell. This is the place where they are now being put and placed, and will be at the end times, in that moment of time in Revelation where he does this. We're going to go to Revelation 20, verse 7. This is after Jesus has reigned on earth for 1,000 years. Satan has been released from the bottomless pit, because that's not what he's looking at here. He's looking at the bottomless pit. This is a jail on earth. What Enoch is looking at is the end of heaven and earth. It's totally 2 different places. So we're looking at the Gog-Magog war. Once Satan is released, he causes another uprising. And it says this in 7. Now when the 1,000 years have expired, Satan will be released from his prison and will go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, whose number is as the sand of the sea. They went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city. And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them, and the devil who deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. Then I saw a great white throne and him who sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heavens fled away. And there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, standing before God, and books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged according to their works by the things which are written in the books. The sea gave up the dead which were in it. Death and Hades delivered up the dead who were in them. And they were judged, each one according to his works. Then death and Hades were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And anyone not found written in the book of life was cast in the lake of fire. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth have passed away. Also there was no more sea. So here what he's seeing is he's seeing the end of heaven and earth. He's seeing them thrown into the lake of fire. And now John is seeing that there's this place. There's no more heaven, there's no more earth, and there's no more sea. And he's about to see this new Jerusalem come forth, and it's a totally different place. But heaven and earth, everything, if you look at the lake of fire, everything on this side of it, on our side of it, will fade away. And there'll only be this new thing on the other side of the lake of fire. And that's ultimately what's taking place, is we are seeing the end of heaven and the end of earth. Literally, Enoch is saying, well, here's what it looks like. And this is that place where all of those heavenly hosts, a third of the stars, a third of the angels that fell, and those 7 kings, those wicked demonic kings, including Lucifer himself, they are all going to be thrown into this place. This is that place for them. So there you go. Man, any thoughts or insight? Thanks for joining us. It was a fun ride. It's very fascinating to see what Enoch is seeing. And honestly, parts of Enoch really make Revelation make more sense to me. So I hope it does for you as well. And again, any thoughts or insight, continue to join us. I did find a new cave. This is actually on my land. It's kind of an outcropping. I do have over here, there's some cliffs. And as soon as it's not tick-infested jungle after the first freeze come, I'm going to try to find another cave, because I can actually, in the winter time, I can look up on that cliff and I can actually see caves up there. So if I can get into another cave, I will. It's nice to find a spot on my own land I could join, in and make these videos, compared to having to continue to go into public land or private land, that sort of thing. So thanks for joining us. Continue to join us. Any thoughts or insight on any of this, definitely put it below.